Why, hello everyone. Welcome to Redneck Ways. How's everybody out there in YouTube land? Why, I hope you guys are fine and dandy. Not doing too awful bad, guys, here in old Kentucky. It is Sunday afternoon. It's about 15 minutes after 6. And we have had another beautiful day here in Kentucky. It's still a little bit on the warm side. You'll definitely work up a sweat if you go out and work out in the yard or something. So summer's still hanging on a little bit. Fall's right around the corner though. And that's my favorite time of the year, when it dips down to about the mid 70s, high 60s. That's perfect weather for me. And I am really looking forward to it. Well, guys, today I thought we'd just talk about a few different things. Things that I've had laying around here in the old shed. And things that I've over the years found big interest in, and always wanted to own my own. And that's what we're going to talk about today. First, we're going to talk about these marker lights on my boat trailer. And I can't figure them out, because I'm painting my trailer, which, let's walk out there and look. I'll show you before I get into this. And also I got to get the other one, because this is not a good sample. So let me go outside for a minute. Alright guys, we're out around the boat, but I've been painting the old trailer. It was in really bad shape, guys, and it really hurts the look of your old boat when your trailer looks nasty. We can go on back here and I'll show you, because I haven't got it quite finished. You'll see that right here. There's what the whole thing looked like. So painting everything a good coat of black enamel. We'll get over to the other side and I'll show you my walk plates. I'm painting them. I forget what gray it is, but it's a really nice light gray, and it matches the blue on the boat. But I'm painting all those gray. I've got to right here. And right here is where the marking lights are. And I took those off. And I'm going to just buy new ones, because I can't figure them out. So let's go. Alright guys, I'm back. This is the one that's all together. I took off. I got this one already apart. This was bulbs apart. Now what I am kind of confused about, it seems like the positive is on the stud that holds it all together, and then the negative is here on this wire. Which ever pair of marker lights I had, anything on do with this on the frame would be your negative, but it's not in this case, because if you see how this is, that's where the bulb goes in. Right here is where the positive, I don't know if you can see that. Turn my light on. Right here's the positive. You see the bulb goes in here. This, so that'll be posi. That'll be the positive for the battery. But if you follow that on the back side, it's right here, and it goes into here to this stud. So it's saying that's positive. So I don't know how. This is a weird setup. And it says here one's annex, which I guess would be positive. I don't have my glasses. Let me get my glasses. And I think the other side says ground or marker. It says marker brown here with an arrow for here, and then over here it says annex right here. So I guess that's power and that's ground. Then the wire, you stick the wires in there. But yeah, ain't that weird, guys? See, this is considered positive, and that will be on the trailer. See, here's the boat. If I had this together, the nut and everything on this piece of metal, because this boat's on the side like that, and this would be grounded to the trailer. And I've always grounded my lights to the trailer, so it's a little weird. This I'm going to check this bulb, see if it's bad real quick while we're here. And I don't have anything fit. That's the only 12 volt I have, little bulb in it. You can see it definitely does not fit. Let me get my multimeter. Alright, we'll check the continuity on this little bulb. This one I took out, the bulb just twisted off. It's just rotten. So maybe this one might do the same thing. Let's see if we can get it out without breaking it. I don't know if it's bad or not. It wouldn't come on, but who'd say I got it hooked up right? Well, it should pull right out of there. It wasn't easy, but I finally got it out. So let's check this, see if it's a little loose, but let's see. Check the continuity, and it's dead. Unless that's pretty bad. Let me get a file and file that off a little bit. Clean this up just to make sure. But I believe it's dead. Let's try that one more time. I just hit my head on the lot. Yeah, she's dead. So both these bulbs were bad on the markers. It was weird. It's like somebody shorted something out because the little red and green light up front was blown when I bought the boat, and now these marker lights were blown. Somebody must have touched the wrong wire at some point in time. So that's dead. Let's check this one. Make sure it's good. I'm sure it is. Yeah, it's good. So we're going to do real quick. I wasn't even planning on making the video, but this is just so strange. Maybe when you guys out there, maybe you all dealt with this type of setup. Maybe you can explain to me why the positive isn't going to ground or going to the frame. So let's grab a battery. Oh, I forgot to pause it. Hang on. All right, that didn't take too long. And let's get a couple of alligator clips. Not that one. There's one for ground. And here's one for posi. And let's just see if make sure this bulb works. Well, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this is ground. Well, we know this bulb's good. Why ain't it working? Is my battery dead? Is my battery dead? Ground. There it is. I'm just having trouble getting a good ground here for some reason. Let's take the file and clean this thing up too. Let's try that again. Man, this I always pick this really bad clip. I got another good one. Yes, I do. Well, I about knocked everything off. Getting it. All right, let's try it again. All right, ground. Why ain't that coming on? There it is. So that works. Ooh, it gets hot quick. All right, now let's run it like this. Let's trying to see if I can, even though it don't fit. So that's the pause right here. I can see how this right here is the positive. It runs, and I just don't understand how the positive. So we'll hook the posi here, just like it would be on the trailer. I guess I've never seen that. So that means we have our positive be here. It'd be coming up here on that little tab I showed you. And I need one more alligator clip. Here we go. And this is our ground. we'll put right here. And we need a ground going in, don't we, guys? So we'll have to use this other horrible alligator clip. Alright, guys, I've got the ground right here, so I just need to hook that up real quick. I'll hook that there. We'll hook this here. And that should be hooked up just the way the boat is, right there. And then where that bulb don't fit, we'll have to use these wires like it's in the socket. So we have our ground here, and here's our positive. So we'll touch our ground like that, and it should, whoa, it should come on if I got it wired right. So there's the ground. I can hold on to it. Let's touch the positive. Okay, it ain't working. What did I do wrong? Did something wrong, didn't we, guys? Alrighty, guys. I don't know what y'all can see and what you can't hear. Turn this light up so I can see. Alright. I got it all hooked up, guys. And like I was saying, I got it wired as the ball, because this ball don't fit. So I got it wired like, you know, just like it would go in there. And the positive is on the frame. So I've got it wired that way. So here we go. This ball is being giving me a hard time. There we go. So that's just like, you know, I did it. I got some alligator clips, but I got it wired just like it would be inside there. It just don't fit. So have you all ever seen a setup like this where the positive is on the frame? Because I sure haven't. So I don't know how they got the rest of the wires wired or not. So I'm glad I caught that before I started changing any of the electrical, because I always ground through my frame. Alrighty, I'm sorry I got on to that, guys. That wasn't going to be part of the video. So let me clean this mess up and we'll get on with the video. Alright, guys. In a lot of my videos, if you noticed, I talk a lot about my childhood and things back in my childhood. And this is going to be one of the items that I remember very well, and I just thought it was an awesome little gadget for the kitchen. Nothing huge, but back when refrigerators and freezers, you know, before that, people would have to get ice from the ice wagon. They would get their ice delivered like they would their milk on the ice wagon, and it usually had sawdust all over it. Because that's how they, you know, they had these big warehouses that they would freeze like big blocks of ice. And then they had ice saws, and they had ice picks, and they had these things that clamp on a big chunk of ice and you can lift it. Really neat. But ice was, you know, when you was able to make it in your own kitchen, you're talking about a major important thing. And I mean, it was just, everybody, I'm sure everybody was just thrilled. It was just a little bit before me. When I came, we had refrigerators, but probably about 10 years before, people didn't have the ice. But all my aunts, my uncles, everybody that my friends I stayed all night with, one thing they all had in common in their freezer was an ice tray. Not just like any ice tray like we have today, but one of these cool things. And they usually had 2 or 3 of these. Now this one is a Maid of Honor auto cube, and you just fill this with water. It's in a aluminum pan, like almost like a cornbread pan, but you just you fill it with water, you stick it in your freezer, let it freeze, and when it's frozen, you just take it and you take it by the handle and you put your thumb right here and you pull up, and when you pulled up, it made little ice cubes. Perfect. This was before plastic. You know, all that stuff's killing whales and stuff out in the ocean. I think if they made more stuff like this today, if they brought these back, it'd be that less bit of plastic out in our oceans. But what do you think about that, guys? Ain't that pretty neat? I'm sure some of you older people like me out there seen these, and probably used them. But maybe one of the younger crowd may have stopped in the channel and see this. Pretty neat, huh? Just after it's frozen, put it back down here so I can do it again. Just when it's frozen, just get a hold of it, pull it up. Now, I probably should have already had it frozen and stuff. It probably made a better video, but I just keep it sitting on the shelf. I have used it, but pretty neat. So, I got one more thing, guys, to show you. Something that I always wanted. Now, my mom didn't have one of these vacuum cleaners, but my aunt did, and I always loved it. For some reason, I always wanted to put a motor on it. I don't know why, but about anything I've wanted to put a motor on. My wagon, my Hot Wheels, you know. But when I saw this, I thought it'd be the perfect thing to have a big old motor, a lawnmower motor strapped to the back. But anyway, it is the Electrolux. And I actually found these moth crystals at the flea market, and I was like, well, I don't have the vacuum cleaner, but it's still a cool tin. So I bought this, and I had this probably about 3 or 4 years, and I guess what? I finally found me an Ultralux am I pronouncing that right? Electrolux. Yeah, Electrolux. I don't know, I was trying to call it Electroflux. Electrolux, guys. Just a neat looking vacuum cleaner. I always thought it looked like it had a jet engine on the back. So I want to share with you guys my Electrolux. Now, I had this before I had it, and it took some looking, but I finally found one. So, me bring it over here. I actually have to put you guys on a tripod on this one because it's pretty big. And here she is. Isn't she beautiful? Now, when I wanted the blue one. I did. I wanted the blue. They had this real pretty blue color too. But I've settled with the gold. This one, guys, is so clean. I don't even know if it ever been used before. I've got the plug, of course, it's over there, which I'm glad they made it. They made it undetachable, or detachable, not undetachable, but detachable. Here's the cord, and you just take it and you plug her in, and then when you're finished with it, you just unplug it. They should have done that with all sweepers. Well, they did make some that, the cord wind up by itself, but if it didn't do that, they should have had it untied. Well, you know what I mean. Don't y'all think it looks like a jet engine in the back, that exhaust? And it makes good storage. You can store it sitting upright like that. Now, I thought when I bought this, I would love these moth crystals. All they are mothballs, just really shaved up. So I took this thing and I put, here's the bags. I took this and I put some of them air crystals down in this. It takes a top C bag. And I vacuumed with it one time, and this shed smelled like these mothballs for a month. So that's why I got the paper towel in it. Not a good smell after. It's all right for a minute, but after about an hour, it's not good, guys. But let me get the camera up here and let you all look inside this, and you tell me if you think it's been used very much. Here we go. For one thing, there's hardly no dust. Now, this is dust that I've used it, because it was cleaner than this when I bought it. But you can see the sticker's still good, but look down in this. That motor looks clean, just as clean as the day you bought it. Just a clean looking little vacuum cleaner. And you gotta have the bag back in there, it won't close. I've got to order some bags. and way I can get rid of those crystals, and because it really does a good job shopping in the shop here, and it don't take up much room. And I don't have the broom part. It don't really show it on. Yeah, it kind of does. There's a thing that you can hook to it. It's even got power. Let me see. It's got a place on here. It's the electric. Well, I thought it did. I thought it had a place to hook the electric to, but maybe I was wrong. But check out the hose, guys. Alright, guys, check out the hose. How clean that is. I don't think it was used very much at all. So I guess the next thing to show you guys is how she sounds. And it's not bad. It's really quiet for a vacuum cleaner. And I honestly think it wasn't played very much, was used very much. I'm going to order, like I was saying, I'm going to order some bags for it. And it'll really help in the shop here, keeping things clean. I sweep with a broom, and sometimes I bring the shop back in if I make big messes. But this, I can just stand in the corner, and the hose reaches everywhere. So let me get the cord back on it, plug her in, and we'll power on. Can't you see how I always imagined putting a 5-horse Briggs and Stratton's on the side shaft on this thing? I don't know where a person would sit, or steer it. It just looks fast. Alrighty, let me get the power cord and we'll power her up. Alrighty, guys, you ready? Are you ready? I believe this was 1954, 55, probably. Pretty old. Not ancient, but pretty old. Here we go. Doesn't that sound good? Got a lot of suction still. I swear, guys, I don't think it was used very much at all. It's like I said, those moth crystals smell pretty good as long as you don't use them very much. Alrighty, there we go, guys. There's my Electroflux, and I could have swore that I had a plug for the power head on it. I don't know. I thought it had like a little plug, so because it has a power head. Maybe I'm just overlooking it, where I imagined it one. Alright, guys. I hope you guys are having a great Sunday. Hope everything's going your all's way. Everything's going good. And I hope you all have a great Monday. Until the next one, guys, I'll see you right here at Redneck Ways. Bye, guys.